Hello everybody, Thomas here. Welcome to SFF180. Okay, do you remember how yesterday on the mailbag I said, oh no, looks like I'm not going to be able to do the booktube-a-thon this year because of scheduling conflicts. Well, I guess that serves me right for not actually paying attention to my schedule, because I found out this morning, happily enough, that Armadillicon is not happening this weekend. It is the following weekend. Well done, Wags. Good one. Okay, so not only am I very happy about that because it gives me an extra week to prepare for the convention, but hey, looks like I can put together a little reading list for Booktube-a-thon after all, which I've already done and I've already begun, and share it with you guys, okay? So we've got 7 categories for the challenges here. I guess there's no real requirement that you have to fulfill all of them, but you know, the fun of this thing is you try to do as best you can. And the first one, as you see right there, is read a book with yellow on the cover. And for that one, I am finally going to be finishing up a book that I'm very embarrassed and annoyed with myself for not having finished by now already, and that is Guy Gavriel Kay's Children of Earth and Sky, which I should have read frickin' 2 months ago, but you know how things pan out. So, but I'm getting it out of the way now, and this one will also help me clear out category number 4, which is read a book by a favorite author. So that one is currently underway. I've had the thumbnail sitting on my hard drive for it, ready for weeks and weeks, and it's finally time to get it done and get the review out to you guys. So look forward to that very soon. Now I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. One of the categories, number 3, is read a book that you discovered through BookTube. Now this one's kind of interesting because on the one hand, and I don't mean for this to sound bad, but you know, in point of fact, I don't actually really discover books that much through BookTube. In case you hadn't noticed, if you followed the channel for a while, it's like the bookstore kind of comes to me. And so, you know, if there's an SFF title coming out that I'm really interested in, you know, by the time BookTube gets wind of it and the buzz has started, you know, I've already heard about it and, you know, I'm part of that buzz. And so, yeah. But there have been some, and one of these is a book that I saw a couple of people recommend back when we were doing the BookTube SFF Babbles videos. There was a book that people recommended on their overlooked fantasy videos called Sorcery and Cecilia. This is by Patricia Reedy and Carolyn Stevermer. It's an older book. It's from the 80s. It's a Regency fantasy that is apparently just brimming over with charm. So if you like, you know, Mary Robinette Kowal and those kinds of books, this is an early example of that sort of thing. And so, yeah, I went and I dug one up because it looked really interesting to me. I'm aware of Pat Reedy. I have reviewed, I think, at least one of her older titles on my website. But this particular collaboration just missed me. And so I got a copy and I have it here. Now, I'm going to say this is lower on my priorities compared to some of the other things I've got going on, which I'll explain to you in a minute for this Booktube-a-thon. But if I don't get around to it during the Booktube-a-thon, suffice it to say, this book is now on my retro radar. I've got it in my queue, and I'm looking forward to reading it whenever I get around to it, even if it's not this week. All right, I'm going to skip ahead yet again. Read a book to movie adaptation. Okay, High Rise would have been perfect for this, but I already did that one. I already covered that one earlier this year. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, okay? I'm going to go ahead and get around to reading Wesley Chu's Time Salvager. And then sometime next week before the convention, I'm going to also try to read Time Siege, because Wes Chu is guest of honor at Armadillicon. And the thing is that Time Salvager has been optioned and maybe not yet greenlit, but as I understand, it's pretty much a go for the movies. So there will be a Time Salvager movie at some point, and I guess when it comes out, I will watch it. Despite the fact that I understand it is Michael Bay has been attached to direct, which gives me sort of the same feeling I had way back in the 90s when John Woo came to the United States for the first time to make his first American action movie, and it turned out to be a Jean-Claude Van Damme vehicle. So all of us Hong Kong action movie fans were like, John Woo, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay, read a book that is older than you. Yeah, had to dig a little bit for one of these, but I found a couple in fact, and I'm gonna maybe not play fair with you here on these two, because I am planning for next week on the channel a special themed episode of SFF180 Retro. It's an episode that I've had in mind for some time, and I'm really kind of excited to do it, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. And it just so happens that several titles are involved in preparing for this video, and two of them not only are older than myself, but they are fitting the theme that is going to be part of this video, which I do not want to reveal yet. So that means that I do not want to reveal the actual titles as of yet of what these books are. But let's just say that this one covers the categories of books older than you and read a book after sunset, because I'm quite sure I will be reading these after sunset. Bit of a night person anyway. And as for that last category, read 7 books. Yeah, not likely to happen. I don't do that in a good week, sad to say. Wish I could. Sometimes, maybe. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility, but let's just say that any of the books that go towards the more ambitious categories are going to be the books that I have slated to be discussed in this video. So there you have it. Sorry if that's crazy underwhelming for all of you, but that's what I'm doing for this year's Booktube-a-thon, and I'm happy to be able to participate after all. What can I say? I was a bit sad maybe to be missing it, but not gonna have to now, all right? So there you go, and I suppose until I see all of you lovely people, thank you so much for watching. As always, like, share, and subscribe in order to help the channel grow. I really, really appreciate all of that, and until I see you guys next time, happy reading.